Well, good morning and welcome. This is 12 Report. My name is Mazino Appeal. Now, the headlines. Today, Nigeria secures game-changing deal to make HIV prevention more affordable at UNGA. Also coming up, 3,488 ghost workers discovered in the education system of Katsina State. And in the United States, former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted for lying to Congress in 2020. Well, as usual, we have our reporters stationed in different parts of the country and outside. Joanna Mustafa joins us from Johannesburg, South Africa. Victor Mbadike is in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Emmanuel Bagudu joins us from Kano, while Joshua Imarai is on standby in Abuja. We also have Omolola Ololade on standby in Lagos. Well, we've got the details in a moment. You're welcome again. Now, the 44th coronation ceremony of the Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Adeolu Ladoja, has since commenced, with more dignitaries expected to grace the historic event as the day unfolds. The coronation marks a continuation of Ibadan's centuries-old succession tradition, often celebrated as one of the most orderly and rancor-free systems in Yoruba land. From Ring Road to Bodija, Makola to Ojaba, and across the adjoining neighborhoods, the ancient city is already agog with colorful cultural displays, rhythmic drumming, and also spirited processions as residents gear up to welcome their new monarch. News Central's Victor Mbadike is at the venue, and he brings us updates. Victor, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us here on 12 Reports. Please, what is it like there?
Well, I did say earlier that this is Christmas Day for the people of Ibadan. It's a huge festival here. If you look at the crowd, it just shows that the people of Ibadan don't joke with the monarchical system here. It took Rashidi Ladoja about 2 years to get to this point where he is right now. I mean, this is historic for this beautiful city because, as a matter of fact, the ascension basically, they already know exactly who becomes the next Olubadan, depending on how long this current Olubadan stays in the office. Just a few moments ago, he was crowned the Olubadan of Ibadan land as the 44th, as a matter of fact, at the Oshemeji house. So right here, he is just straight down. He'll be waiting to collect his staff of office. At the moment, it's just excitement and all gallo for the people of Ibadan. The crowd is so massive. The crowd is so massive. It is so bad that I could disappear in seconds, but I'm pretty sure you could see me right now. But that's how bad it is. I do have a few of them who would like to share with us how excited they are, basically, as far as this beautiful moment is concerned in their history. I have also Olabi, who is here with me. Olabi, you want to like to talk to me? Please, Olabi, please, if you don't mind. So tell us exactly what value basically will his ascension and his tenure bring to this beautiful city?
Good day, people. This is Ibadan here. It's glamorous here today with the coronation of the new Olubadan of Ibadan, the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan, Oba Adewolu Rashidi Ladoja Arushawam. We are happy here today. It's been massive, great. Ibadan has never witnessed this occasion before, this kind of occasion before. Today we are happy. God bless Ibadan. God bless Oluyole. God bless the whole Oyo State and Nigeria in general. Thank you so much. Once again, my name is Alabi Oluwayo John Agoro, a representative of the whole Agoro family in Ibadan here at Itutaba, Oje, Ibadan. Thank you once again. We are here with you. Any other information, you are free to call.
Master, let's share more excitement. Let's share more excitement. Daddy, please climb. Please climb. Daddy, how important is it for you people? How happy are you basically?
Ọba wa ọba tuntun bàbá olóríire tí ọjọ́ oríire rẹ̀ tó wá kò lónìí tó jẹ oyè Olúbàdàn tuntun. A ti ń jọba nínú ìlú Ìbàdàn wa yìí kò tí ì sírú ti Ọládọjà yìí rí àti ìrírú ẹ̀ rí. Gbẹ́gbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run Ọládọjà Adéwọ̀lú ẹ̀mí rẹ̀ ó gùn lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run wà
àlùbáríkọ ọlá pé lóru mẹ́júmọ́ òní mo ṣe àdúrà fún wọn ó sókùn sẹ́yìn bọ̀tù kò sókùn sọ́gbà tó dáa tó sì dá èmi náà mo ṣe àdúrà fún Ọládọjà Àkànmú mo ṣe àdúrà fún lóru mẹ́júmọ́ yìí ẹ tó bá bó ní ròyọ̀ tó bó ní rèjó lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run wọn ó bó náà yọ̀ wọn ó bá náà jò gbogbo àwọn táwa lára ń yìí wọn ó bá wájú wọn ó bá wáyọ̀ lágbára Ọlọ́run mo appreciate yẹ gidi gan ni mo appreciate Ọlọ́run ó jẹ ẹgùn lẹ́mi o bàbá wa Ọládọjà Àkànmú Ọlọ́run ó jẹ ká ẹgùn lẹ́mi ẹ̀mí yín kọ̀dẹ̀ ní gúngùn yà àsìkò yín àwọn tá a jẹ́ olólùfẹ́ yín tá a jára àlù Ọlọ́run ó jẹ ká mọ̀ sí ti dáadáa à mọ̀ sí ti dáadáa inshallah bí kuratula.
Well, as a matter of fact, we still expect the president to be here. Of course, the host himself, Governor Shimakini, is not also here. Maybe in the next 1 hour or less, we would be expecting the president himself being welcomed by the host governor of this beautiful state. So, Mazino, if you want to talk to 1,000 persons, of course, you will get free access to them. But I'm pretty sure that the 12 o'clock news has not extended to 3 hours now. So, if I have more information to share with you right there at the studio, I will gladly do. But at the moment, it's all excitement for the people of Ibadan. The crowd is massive, and that's how much they love this current Olubadan of Ibadan, who is the 44th as a matter of fact, and it's a beautiful time basically in the city of Ibadan.
Now, Victor, I don't want you to go just yet. We want to know how soon exactly the coronation would happen. If you can give us that small information before you leave, please.
Give you that he has been coronated few moments ago. It couldn't have happened here because this is where the party, basically this is where the speeches, the part where we're supposed to host political dignitaries and all of that. So at the Oshemeji, he has been crowned already, where we have the traditional council of the chiefs and the ballets and all of that, where he has been, where the prostration basically took place, where that we couldn't definitely have access to that place. But the only thing that's happening here right now is that he will be receiving his staff of office in a moment from now. While he's waiting for that, he's also waiting, of course, for the president to grace this occasion. May I also let you know that the national anthem has not been sung yet, and that's because the president is not here yet, and of course, the host governor is yet to be here, Mansino. But I'm pretty sure that the president will appear in a moment from now, Mansino. So, like I said again, Oba Rashidi Ladoja has been crowned as the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan land. What is left is now for him to receive his staff of office in a moment from now.
Thank you very much, Victor. Yesterday you were covering collapses. Today you're enjoying culture. Well, that's fantastic. Congratulations. I'm jealous of your job. Now from Ibadan, we move to Abuja. The trial of Biafra Nation agitator Nnamdi Kanu has resumed at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Now, at the commencement of today's proceedings, Justice James Comey heard arguments on an application seeking to transfer Kanu to the National Hospital for medical treatment. We're now joined by our correspondent, Joshua Marai, for more update on the case. Joshua, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. Rather good afternoon. It is 12 report. Please, what's the situation with the application filed by Kanu's lawyers, please?
Good afternoon to you, Martin. Well, the counsel representative Nnamdi Kanu, actually argued that Kanu is terribly sick and is urgent need of medical attention. He also told the court that an intense examination has been conducted in one of the best medical laboratories in Abuja, and that a renowned professor of law and a professor of medicine, that is the person of Martin Agaji, was also in the know and also submitted a report to attest to the fact that Nnamdi Kanu is also sick. We, however, prayed the court that the court should allow Nnamdi Kanu to take treatment in the National Hospital here in Abuja.
I'm wondering what the reaction was like by the prosecution team over the application that was filed.
Thank you, Senior Executive that's the person of Adegboyega who actually argued the application. He reacted negatively to the application, saying that this is another attempt of Kanu invading the law. And for a fact, he says that the federal government has been taking good care of Nnamdi Kanu ever since he has been in the custody of the DSS, and that the DSS has adequate equipment and facilities to take care of Nnamdi Kanu. He also says that Nnamdi Kanu has already boasted in the past that he has followers that if the followers win of this entire situation and he be released to take his treatment in the national hospital, his followers will break him out and is going to evade arrest, and he subsequently is going to escape. So he told the court that already the Attorney General has constituted a team, particularly of professionals from the Nigerian Medical Association, to evaluate Kanu's health and give back a report.
The judge given any rulings yet?
Of course. The judge declined the request that Nnamdi Kanu should be taken to the National Hospital here in Abuja. The judge also went forward to say that he ordered that a medical team, particularly 8 to 10 persons, with representatives from the Nigerian Medical Association, as well as the Chief Medical Officer of the National Hospital in Abuja, be made as part of that committee. And the job of that committee is to evaluate Kanu's health to see if truly Kanu is truly sick, and to evaluate the medical facility in the DSS headquarters to see if Kanu is sick and that facility is adequate to take care of Nnamdi Kanu. And he went further that to say that the panel should report to the court 8 days from now as regards their findings, and the findings should be signed by the president of the committee and secretary to the committee.
Joshua Marai, thank you very much for bringing us details on that report. We'll continue to follow you as you follow that report. Thank you. Meanwhile, Nigerians in the diaspora are stepping up calls to be included in the country's electoral process. At the second diaspora town hall meeting organized by News Central in New York, stakeholders said it was unacceptable for those contributing billions of dollars to Nigeria's economy to remain politically voiceless. News Central's correspondent Israel Eferubo here has a report.
In New York, Nigerians in the diaspora gathered for a crucial dialogue under the theme, "Will Nigeria's diaspora be silenced again in 2027? The town hall brought together activists, leaders and professionals, all united by one message: diaspora Nigerians deserve the right to vote.
Aside voters, Nigerians in diaspora being able to vote, it is critical and it is very important to help us to unify the voters' power and to give strength to Nigerians in diaspora, bringing their voice and also making their voices count.
The diasporans have become almost the foreign investors that you have been hearing about ever since you've been hearing about foreign investors. It is Nigerians who now live abroad who actually are the foreigners who invest in Nigeria and on the continent of Africa. And anybody who brings in over $50 billion into an economy should not be asking or begging to vote.
Others echo the sentiment, stressing the economic and democratic weight of Nigerians abroad.
And significantly every year, the amount keeps going higher. These billions are not just abstract figures. They are real interventions in people's lives. So it's not just figures sitting in bags. They're figures that are helping to put food on people's table. They're helping to pay school fees, tuition fees for university students, settling hospital bills. And of course, it's also about the many businesses a lot of us have running in Nigeria.
I've seen many African countries test running the inclusion of their diasporans in their election, like countries like Kenya. Kenya have gradually established this, extending it all over East Africa. South Africa has allowed their citizens to vote at their embassies abroad and their consulates abroad. Ghana has done the same by establishing pilot programs that allows their citizens to cast their vote at their embassies.
We all care about elections back home, but most of us can actually vote from abroad. Ghana, South Africa, and others have all found ways to include their citizens overseas, and we can do the same. The second gap is policy gap. And many of us work in systems with strong institutions and innovative ideas.
Some participants pushed for a gradual, practical approach, and for others, time is already running out.
Therefore, this confab today calls for the urgency of now. The arrangement to start diaspora voting must start immediately this confab ends.
So that the National Assembly will do what we in Nigeria always describe as they need to do the needful. They need to go through the third reading and the final presentation and then do their vote on it and present a bill to the President for accent before it becomes an act of law. That's the process.
For attendees, diaspora voting is more than a demand. It's a call to deepen democracy and give millions of Nigerians abroad a voice in shaping their homeland's future. With less than 2 years to the 2027 elections, advocates say the clock is ticking. Whether Nigeria acts in time remains to be seen.
Welcome back. Now, small businesses are the backbone of Nigeria's economy, but many still struggle with formal registration. To change that, the Corporate Affairs Commission is teaming up with SMEDAN to make the process easier for micro, small and medium enterprises. For more on this development, let's join our correspondent Sumaya Abubakar, who is live with us here, and she's got the details. Sumaya, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. What is the aim of this collaboration, please?
Good afternoon, Mazino. Indeed, today is all about the CAC and the SMEDAN, and I was able to, of course, talk to the bosses as the head of these agencies outside the meeting. But the main essence of it is to bring in this collaboration and awareness to Nigerians, saying that so far they have realized that according to the SMEDAN, Director General, that is Charles Odi, he said that they made some surveillance that was last year to early this year and realized that there is a numbers of businesses talking about running into millions of small businesses that are not registering to the CAC. He said that they are, working on the unofficial market, and that, of course, is not allowing them gain the opportunities that comes with, with the government bringing grants and everything to grow the MSME. So hence the reason why they made this approaching the CAC in order to create a good collaboration so that these businesses would officially be in the official market. And one of the major announcements is that they have so far agreed that there will be 250,000 free registration for small businesses in Nigeria so far, and that is a huge number. This is something that has never been done. According to them, that this is something that would start as soon as possible. I specifically asked if there was a date. They said so far no date, but they're hoping as soon as Monday, that is after the deliberation between the CAC and the SMEDAN, and it will be taken back to the federal government and then come back with the big decision. So according to the boss of, that's the Registrar General of the CAC, he said so far their websites are on and they're waiting just for SMEDAN to put on or give the details of how this grant or how this free registration rather would be achieved.
Thank you very much, Sumaya, for bringing us the detail there. Thank you. Let's go on a break now. We'll be back. Nigeria has secured a game-changing deal to make HIV prevention more affordable, slashing the cost of the powerful new drug, lenacapavir, from over 41 million naira to just 60,000 naira per person per year. Now, the announcement came at the Clinton Global Initiative during the UN General Assembly in New York, where Nigeria was praised for its leadership. Now, lenacapavir, which is taken just twice a year, is nearly 100% effective in preventing new HIV infections and will now be accessible to millions across Nigeria and other low-income countries. Health officials say this marks a major step toward ending HIV as a public health threat by 2030, especially for vulnerable groups. And I beg your pardon. Let's talk politics now. The opposition coalition is turning up the pressure, asking its members to leave their current parties and fully join the African Democratic Congress, or ADC. Now, this comes after a strategic caucus meeting in Abuja as parties begin early moves ahead of the 2027 elections. ADC spokesperson Bolaji Abdullahi confirmed the directive, but said there's no set deadline yet. Meanwhile, both the APC and PDP have dismissed the move as premature and politically insignificant. But the question remains, can the ADC become a real alternative? For a live session, the chairman of ADC in Lagos State, George Ashiru, joins me here now in the studio for more on the story. Mr. Ashiru, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. So let's ask this question.
My pleasure, first and for.
Grand, thank you.
Thank you.
The ADC is asking other party members to, well, hey, jump ship. Where's that confidence coming from?
No, the coalition in the very first place was the creation of the same political stakeholders in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. They came together and adopted our party as the platform for a credible alternative coalition. So basically what they're saying now is that let's move into the next phase, which is let all the political bigwigs now begin to identify directly if their various wards and the various states, rather than just being coalition leaders, be actual members of the party in a formal sense. So that's a phase. You know, we start with the coalition discussions and the mobilizations and bringing people together, and then people can now begin the registration processes. Okay. So I think it's just an announcement that it's time for us to move into that phase. Okay, well, very eloquently put, but the APC and PDP, they've shrugged it off and said, you guys aren't ready. What's your response to that? What do you expect them to say? Everything we are doing now is in the news, and they expected to respond to everything they're not comfortable with. But the moment you start seeing all of these people that they are worried about, the bigwigs, the powerful people who have run this country in the past and then still very, very politically strong in the various areas, the moment they begin the process of driving all of their members and supporters into this coalition by their own physical joining of the party, where they have not done that, then that marks the beginning of the end of some of these parties who are speaking, because quite a lot of their own members are going to start doing it over a period of 1 year. Some people will tell you that, no, wait, I'm coming in 6 months, I'm coming in 3 months, I'm coming in 4 months. So, but we are focusing on the big ones, the ones with the popular names, the Atikus, the Erufais, the Amechis, that they want to see evidence that they have gone to their wards. But who knows whether they have really actually gone to their wards and done it quietly. The truth is that it's a game of strategy. So there's some information that's public and some that are not. But the party is simply saying, one of the things we've agreed is that let it be now more obvious. Do your various public affirmations and let everybody know where you stand. So no one will ever misconstrue your presence in a particular place as meaning you are not yet committed to ADC. So that's really what the meeting of our elders came up with yesterday.
It's very interesting, the ADC and the coalition and everybody who's actually been prominently featured inside of this grand talk. But isn't that how every political party starts?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the LP. It was very big for 2023. We don't see that strength. We don't see that push anymore. Now, the ADCs come with all these big names that you're talking about, and many people are saying, yeah, it's just going to be for 2025, and then we're done. What's your response to that?
But you see, I like the fact that you mentioned Labour Party. Labour Party was built around a candidate.
A candidate.
One candidate, came into Labour Party, and the Labour Party became an adopted platform for his supporters. But now we have a coalition around a party that's bigger than Labour Party to start with. You understand? And then you then have all of these founders of these other parties coming together into this coalition, to ADC. So we are talking, and we don't even have presidential candidates yet. We don't have governorship candidates. We're not even in the election season. So the fact that we're already in the front burner and they were making a lot of noise and we're influencing policy.
What makes you think you're in the front burner?
We are in the front burner because you have already said it. APC is talking about us, Labour is talking about us, PDP is talking about us.
What are you doing differently that makes you front burner conversation?
Well, you have said it in the beginning. The critical mass of the political players in this country have chosen one platform, something that's difficult. For all of them to choose one platform, because a lot of them usually will take separate platforms and then compete against each other. What they're saying is, look, let us unify and come under one platform. That's something that's different in this country.
It would seem to be a game of big names. Yeah, so when you have big names inside of a coalition, what do you expect? People that will drive conversation.
Absolutely, but then that's what politics is all about.
That doesn't seem to be your effort. It's the efforts of people who have made big names in other political parties or other political endeavors coming into the ADC.
The leaders are responding to the cries of the people. So when the people tell you this is what they want, the leader will flow in that direction. So when people are saying we need to have a change, the leaders are listening. And because they're politically wise, they know what it means. It means we have to do something to create that change. And what is that change? Okay, I'm not going to be able to do it on my own. You are not going to be able to do it on your own, but your strength and my strength coming together makes it possible for us to do it so that the people have a hope and they have a choice. But for people not to have a choice is dictatorship. We're going to have an autocratic government once people don't have a credible alternative. So they used to have scattered alternatives, scattered opposition. Now you have one force where people from all of these various scattered alternatives have come together to say, look, let us unify. Naturally, it's not just a conversation, it's the fact that now the average Nigerian electorate can now say, I now know where I can vote, for sure. I'm not spoiled for choice. I don't have to worry, should I vote LP? Am I sure whether LP can do it? Should I vote? Now, all of them in LP, all the people in PDP, all the people in these parties, SDP, they've all chosen one platform. So it's easy for me. It's either this or that.
I'm going to draw a table here. So let's say, well, the ADC, first of all, has not put any timeline to, any decampers who want to come in. But I'm wondering whether there is one. If there is one, you'll answer that. Then, if the ADC does succeed come next election, will it still continue to accept decampers? Because if it does that, then that means it's definitely no different from the PDP or the APC or any other party that has succeeded and seen people decamp from that party that failed into their party with the bad baggage that they had from before. So what's the difference?
So let me first answer the issue of the timeline. The timeline has not been provided, but it might be understood. So there could be an internal understanding that this is the timeline. We don't want to give timelines because there are people who might feel the need to wait for a certain reason for a particular time politically. Maybe because you're trying to organize yourself, organize your team, your structures, your members, to be able to move so that you don't go ahead and then you have to drag them, with you. So that is clearly a strategic move. Then the issue of people decamping, we don't like to use the word decamping. We call it coalescing. Okay. People choosing a platform that they think can solve the problem of Nigeria and then coming into it. We're going to get to the point in this country where if we're ideologically driven, there can only be 2 or 3 ideologies, political ideologies. You can have 50, 60, 70, 90. There's going to be either this way to run the country or that way to run the country or a third alternative. Nigeria is going to get to that point where we're not going to be able to sustain 60, 70, 80, 90 political parties. Everybody's going to have to coalesce around major parties that carry the ideologies that will save Nigerians. Nigerians can make a choice. Now, if you look at the American political system, there are other political parties, Green Party, this party, that party. But there are 2 critical ideologies in the way America is run. It's either you are Democrat or you're Republican. Then the others are what we call fringe parties, and I don't like to use the word fringe. But they are able to accept people who believe that, no, these 2 don't represent what I believe in, and I'd rather stay here, even if I have just one representative in the parliament. Now, this same thing in the UK and most parts of the world, and these are the people that brought democracy to us. And they're basically making it clear to us that we're going to move to that point, ideologically as a nation, where we're going to then be politically wise in terms of what types of government will suit us. And then we're going to make a choice between this or this alternative. So coalescing is different from political decamping. Political decamping is fear of losing power and jumping.
So real quick,
now we are not in power.
Will there still be coalescing even after the ADC?
Of course, coalescing will continue forever.
Mr. Bashiru, thank you very much. Ashiru, sorry. That's such a friendly conversation. I wish we could. Maybe we should have it another time.
Thank you.
Over some drinks and you're buying.
Why not? Why not? We'll be very glad.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Do stay put. Let's move on now to another very interesting conversation here. Residents of Yashana community in Kumboto local government area of Kano State have raised an alarm over what they describe as a worsening crime rate following the collapse of the Dari Bridge, which serves as the only link between their community and Kano metropolis. Members of the community, while speaking to News Central television crew, said that the alternative routes now being used by the community have been taken over by hoodlums who unleash mayhem on innocent residents, mostly at night. Now, News Central's Emmanuel Bagudu joins us live for updates on this story. Emmanuel, thank you very much for joining us for 12 Report. Emmanuel, you were on with us a couple of days ago, but this time is different. Tell us what's happening there in Kumboto. Unfortunately, we are unable to connect with Emmanuel Bagudu at this moment, but we will definitely try to do that so we can bring the details happening in his locality there. Moving on now. A crisis may be brewing in Oton community, Sapele local government area of Delta State following a coordinated attack on the community, which resulted in the destruction of some homes and properties by alleged Ishekiri youth from Agui Dorodo in Warri North local government area over a disputed Okwe Oshobo Forest Reserve. Following the incident, the national president of the Okwe Youth Council, Moses Odiete, led members of the Sapele Okwe community on a peaceful protest to the council secretariat in Sapele, where he urged the Delta State governor and the council chairman to address the escalating tension and restore peace to the area. News Central's correspondent Austin Azu here tells us more.
Residents of Oton, an agrarian community in Sapele local government area of Delta State, are protesting over what they described as land ownership crisis. They alleged that their lives are in danger following a coordinated onslaught on the community, which resulted in the destruction of several homes and properties worth millions of nairas.
They won't kill me with my children. We there at that around 1:30. We they sleep when my children they sleep. When they are just here for night now gone. They shoot gun, I can't say I dream I do. When they bought for this place, not be 50 million. Because I right to child order, they this place also.
Others narrate allegations about those behind the attacks and their motive.
Question people should be asking: where were the Shekiri when our forefather gave this place to share? They did not protest. They did not challenge it. Why today? They are doing this because they feel they have people in power. The man Odwaga is boasting all over that the president's wife is a Shekiri, that they will do everything to take this land from us.
So if Imam Odwan and Sagbodo Court has a legitimate claim to the Okwe Forest Reserve, he should go straight to approach the court to lay claim to what likely belongs to him. That is the arms talk to disturb Okwe people that are peace-loving.
The national president of the Okwe Youth Council, Moses Odiete, gave voice to his people's grievances.
The Shekiri people and their leaders and the Elema, Imam Odwan is fomenting trouble, harassing our people, our women, our youth with guns, chasing our women from the farm, burning properties in our kingdom. And today we are here to tell the local government chairman to please talk to the people of Shekiri people, that Okwe Kingdom, Okwe people are peace-loving people, and we are not also a toothless bulldog.
Meanwhile, the Olu of Warri Kingdom, Ogiame Atuache III, has visited the Oroje of Okwe Kingdom and chairman of the Delta State Traditional Rulers Council already first in Orerokwe, traditional headquarters of the Okwe ethnic group, where both monarchs affirmed their brotherhood and emphasized the need for continuous peaceful coexistence and peace building between both kingdoms.
today's outing.
In Delta for News Central, Austin, Azu.
To an earlier story, I think we have our News Central correspondent Emmanuel Bagudu here, who's joining us live for updates on the story that we gave before from Komboto with the eroded or destroyed bridge, if I'm not mistaken. Emmanuel Bagudu, do clarify. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. What's the situation there in Komboto?
Yes. This spreads a lot of anxiety, disappointment. Of course, the government has that the secondary school, the only secondary school that is being abandoned so far in that community to be fixed, so that the children don't have to go to the stretch of crossing the damaged bridge. But that has not been done yet. Also, the government has awarded the contract, and excavator is there lying down, no work is ongoing. And of course, for 5 years, that community do not have electricity. So that is the issue, the bone of contention, the issue, that they have to be forced to go out of that community to go to the city center in search of basic amenities, in search of hospital, healthcare, and all that. And it's cool. But the damage of that bridge has actually truncated a lot of activities and is making life very, very difficult for them. So that has complicated a lot of issues for the close to up to 1 million population of international community in local government. And they feel that there has to be an emergency, response, because they have made an attempt to create wooden bridges, of course, for them to be able to pass and access those abilities. But they feel that that's a temporary measure by them, that the government should be responsible for building that temporary measure to avoid them, losing faith in the entire governance structure of the state. Yeah.
Bagudu, the last time you were on with us, we actually saw that the locals were trying to put together that temporary bridge that you spoke about. But we also hear that the alternate routes that they are using now, they're having problems with that because they're having hoodlums who are harassing them. So what do you know about that development?
What they're trying to do right now is to have to reduce the effect of that collapse of that bridge, because they mentioned cases of death, cases of robbery attacks, just like what we don't reported in that story. Because the alternative route, which is through a busy area, a very narrow path, no someone can go through that area, of course. In that area, not any community sector in that area. What that does break through is that people using motorbikes have been attacked, their phones being snatched, their motorbikes being seized. Those are the main issues they are trying to raise for the government to know, because they believe that it's an emergency issue that needs to be addressed. Since they don't have any basic ability to their community. The criminals are taking over the alternative route, which we just saw on that video, and that, of course, when it is raining, they issue of using the alternative route is not even there. So they are insisting that they are losing lives. And of course, they will run into a pregnant woman who's on labor, who couldn't even access a pathway. She has to drive back, and seek the service of course, the original birth tender, which pushes the feel that has to be addressed in an emergency level. Yeah.
Emmanuel Bagudu, thank you very much for giving us details and update. Thank you. Apologies for the poor audio there. The Katsina state government has uncovered 3,488 ghost workers across the 34 local government councils and local education authorities following a biometric screening exercise. Now, Governor Diko Rada said the audit saved over 500 million naira, 4.6 million naira recovered from officers drawing dual salaries. Out of 50,172 staff screened, only 46,380 were verified. Those removed were found guilty of credentials forgery, absenteeism, payroll fraud, or failure to appear. The committee's finding revealed underage employment, fake certificates, and illegal promotions. An education secretary was also implicated in creating 24 fictitious staff. Governor Rada ordered the report's full implementation through a white paper, saying reform is necessary despite political risks. The committee estimates 453.3 million naira could be saved monthly if all recommendations are enforced. Now, it's day 2 of the Ideas Pre-G20 conference in Johannesburg, where discussions are focusing on solutions from reforming the international payment system and boosting South-South financial cooperation to advancing financial autonomy in the global South and rethinking domestic resource mobilization. News Central's senior business correspondent Joanna Mustafa is following the conversations and joins us now. Joanna, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining in for 12 Report. Please, what's standing out today?
Earlier in the day, we had a very interesting session on looking beyond dollar hegemony. And I have with me now the Chair Professor of Economics at Willamette University in person of Yang Lang. She gave a very interesting presentation earlier in the day. So coming to you now and looking at the imperative for alternatives when it comes to financial payment system, let us a bit into how important it is that we have alternatives.
Well, I think it's very important because the current system, the payment system, relies on the so-called correspondent bank system, and pretty much it relies on the dollar as a vehicle currency, and also the U.S. headquarters, mega banks as intermediary, as correspondent banks. So it creates a lot of problems, economic cost, inefficiency, long time for clearing, and very opaque process. And also the correspondent banks' numbers have been declining. So it really creates a lot of bottlenecks for cross-border payments. But more importantly, I think it really supported a whole king dollar system, right? The dollar is very important system where they can use local currencies for settlements and clearing, and so that helped to protect them from some of the vulnerability of relying too much on the dollar system, and also help them to really cross-border payment to save costs and boost efficiency.
Mm-hmm. And we know that in Africa, we're trying to develop PAPS. We have 18 countries that have adopted it. But we also have for the Global South, BRICS is also doing something about developing a payment system. Let us into that.
Right. So BRICS has been talking about alternative payment system, and now they have been experimenting with the multiple central bank digital currency at the jointly operated platform. So there have been projects that are, with the BIS. And so, for example, the project M-Bridge and project Dunbar that have the participants of the BRICS countries. And so the project Dunbar, for example, was mentioned in the 2025 the joint declarations by the BRICS Leader Summit. So I think there's some indication that that could be one of the.
Well, we do have connection issues, but I do think Joanna is back with us again. We're going to let us hear what she's saying. And there, my apologies, but yeah, we heard most of what your guest there said. But what more could we know about what's happening there in South Africa? We're still with you, but it's okay. We'll let it go this time. It's all right. Thank you very much. Now, the federal government urged Nigerians to align policies, private sector innovation, and development finance to foster a thriving economy with growing MSMEs and shared prosperity. Vice President Kashim Shettima at the Development Bank of Nigeria's 6th annual lecture highlighted MSME's crucial role, providing over 80% of jobs and significant GDP contributions. Now, DBN Managing Director Tony Okpanachi disclosed the bank has disbursed more than 1.1 trillion naira to support over 700,000 SMMEs. Melvin T's CEO Flora Mutahi noted African SMMEs face challenges like limited infrastructure and funding, stressing the need for a mindset shift, strong business models, systems, and also leadership to drive growth and job creation across Africa. Outside of Nigeria, former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted by a federal grand jury in Virginia on charges of lying to Congress about authorizing a leak of classified information in 2020. The indictment follows recent calls by Donald Trump for tougher action against political adversaries. Comey, a longtime Trump critic, denies wrongdoings and says he has great confidence in the federal justice system. The case is led by U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan, a former Trump lawyer. Comey's arraignment is set for October 9 in Alexandria. Attorney General Pam Bondi said the indictment shows a commitment to holding powerful figures accountable for misleading the public. Former UK Prime Minister Sir Tony Blair is reportedly in discussions to head a transitional authority in Gaza after the war, with backing from the White House, UN, and Gulf nations. The plan would see Blair oversee governance before transferring control to Palestinians. His office stressed he would not support any plan that displaces Gazans. Blair joined high-level meetings with Trump in August and has a history as a Middle East envoy. The proposal emerges as Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas voices support for a two-state plan excluding Hamas. Recent international recognition of Palestine has drawn criticism from Israel and the U.S., who view it as rewarding terrorism. Now it's that time of the show where we end with a very interesting postscript. And today, if you're ready, I would like to congratulate, well, the Nigerian Vice President, Kashim Shettima. Now, Kashim Shettima, his speech at the 80th United Nations General Assembly was steady, it was deliberate, and it gave space to, one of the world's most burning issues. It's the Israel-Hamas war. It's a topic that most hosts don't want to touch for specific reasons, but we'll do that here today. Now, he called for peace, for restraint, for dialogue. In a hall filled with wary leaders repeating the same refrain, Nigeria's voice actually joined the chorus for global calm. That in itself is commendable. But let's look at the room. President Lula of Brazil condemned the disproportionate toll of civilians. European leaders also emphasized Israel's rights to defend itself, but with restraint. Others, like Turkey's Erdogan, spoke more bluntly about Palestinians' suffering. In that spectrum, Shettima's words sat in the middle, careful, balanced, and, well, unprovocative, like most Nigerian hosts. And yet, as we applaud his concern for faraway bloodshed, we must ask, where is the same energy for blood spilled at home here in Nigeria? While Shettima spoke eloquently about peace in Gaza, well, you have to agree that we have found no peace in Zamfara, where bandits raid villages like clockwork, in Benue, where communities live under siege, or in Kogi, where highways still turn into hunting grounds for kidnappers. The vice president's voice was loud at the UN, but it grows faint when it comes to Nigeria's own dead and displaced. Well, sir, Mr. Shettima, we thank you very much for reminding the world that peace is possible, but here's the harder truth. Charity must begin at home. Nigeria cannot be the moral conscience of the world while ignoring graves that keep opening in its own backyard. The lives in Benue are no less valuable than those in Gaza. The mothers in Zamfara, well, they cry just as bitterly as the mothers in Israel. If we want to be peacemakers abroad, we must first prove that we can be protectors at home. Food for thought here. It's easy to speak of peace in New York. The real test is whether you can deliver in Gusau. And that's your postscript for today. Thank you very much. But that said, Remo Stars will aim to seal progression in the CAF Champions League when they face, I think it is Azila Maju of Comoros today. But I'm not the best person to tell. We're going to be having our sports guys come up very soon. Favor Itwa is going to be joining us. Favor, if you're with me, do tell us what we should expect come sports this afternoon.
Well, interesting times ahead. Remo Stars playing today. Some would say play for pride, just to, see how the game goes after winning 4-0 in the first leg. Other stories in the world of tennis, world of football in Nigeria and beyond in the game.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to it, and thank you very much. And that's it for 12 Report today. Now, do remember you may send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp numbers on your screens being displayed right now. And do follow us on social media. We are at News Central Television. You can watch News Central live on DSTV 422, GoTV 23, Star Times 274, Avo TV, and of course on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. My name is Mazino Appeal.